So look, I might be a bit of a movie snob, but every time I see a film that comes out exclusively on home streaming, I tend to think, well, it probably just wasn't good enough to be released into movie theaters. And look, I do think that is frequently the case, but every once in a while I find one on home streaming that I think, oh, that's a nice little surprise of a movie. I got one of them to talk about today. Hey everybody, I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy, and let's talk about Deep Cover.
Thank you so much, everyone.
I'm looking to work with someone just like you.
Oh, are you like an agent?
Detective Sergeant. It's a program using improv comics to take down criminals.
200 each. You in? This is just another round of improv. When in doubt,
Drop it.
yes, and.
Anything else? Yes. And?
In Deep Cover, which is playing on Amazon Prime, Bryce Dallas Howard plays a woman who's teaching improv acting. Orlando Bloom plays one of her students who dreams of being a super dramatic movie star. And Nick Mohammed is another student who is just hoping to learn how to be less awkward in everyday life. Basically, they're all kind of awkward misfits whose lives haven't quite panned out the way they had hoped for. Which might explain why they jump when a police officer, who's played by Sean Bean, approaches them to go undercover on a sting operation. And while they bumble their way through the op, they do impress some bad guys, and they find themselves infiltrating deep into the London crime scene. So look, I think that's a fun setup to this story. These are three actors who are in way over their heads, but they yes and their way through the investigation. Like I said, way over their heads here, but they bumble their way through to some fun success. Now, take note that this movie is rated R. I mean, yes, it's a comedy with some very fun moments, but it also gets very bloody at times. People are murdered, and our trio of actors end up going so far as to dismember a body, if only because the first rule of improv is to always say yes and. And look, this is a very solid cast with Bryce Dallas Howard charming in the leading role. Ian McShane shows up playing the big bad, and he's always great. And Orlando Bloom and Nick Mohammed are a hoot, playing two guys who take their bad guy character roles way too far. Look, as crazy as this story is, I do appreciate that the filmmakers went out of their way to make everything seem, well, if not believable, then at least plausible. I like how things keep getting more and more and more out of hand before the big action finale. For an action comedy, it's a lot of fun. And that's the name of the game here. The acting is good, the filmmaking is solid, and there's some nice comedic moments and plenty of genuine action. Sure, this will never stand out if compared to other summer blockbusters, but for a fun night out at home, I had a great time. So surprisingly, I'm going to give Deep Cover 3 stars out of 4. And you know what? I think this could have been a minor hit had it been released into theaters, especially if it had been released in England, where this whole thing is set. It's kind of a shame that it's on home streaming, but consider it to be a little bit of a surprise if you're looking for something fun to do on a Saturday night. But hey, what do you think? Comment below, please, and don't forget to subscribe so you get all of my Movie Guy quick takes. And if you want to know a deeper dive into what I think about these movies, well then join me on my weekly podcast, Two Movie Guys. My buddy Joe Fryer and I go into more detail on all of the week's big new movies. Just search for Two Movie Guys wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, that's it for this week, but next week, what a strange combination. We have a new Pixar animated family movie, and we have a new zombie film. That's a double feature you gotta see. We'll talk to you about those films next on the next Sean the Movie Guy Quick Takes. We'll see you then.